Hi there, and welcome to my home. Welcome to my kitchen, and welcome to Cook Like Brooke. Today we're going to do the most simple of recipes. I'm not sure where everyone's sitting as far as learning how to cook, but this one's going to be chicken noodle soup, and everybody needs a good chicken noodle soup recipe. It will basically highlight chopping, dicing, and mincing, okay, which is very important in the grand scheme of cooking. So let's go ahead and get our apron on and get to cooking. Now, since we're in Nanny's kitchen, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a big glass of house wine going on. So, salute. Alright, now first of all what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our mirepoix ready. Now, the mirepoix, for those of you who don't know, are onions, celery, and carrots. That's a standard average mirepoix. Let's go ahead and get those. Here we have our celery and our carrots, which I have already peeled and cut the edges off the celery. Now, right here we have our first lesson. These are pearl onions. Now, onions go in our mirepoix, of course, but this is going to give us a fun little side lesson with the pearl onions. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to peel all of these little pearl onions and cook them. So what we're going to need first is a pot to get it going on boiling. Now, go ahead and put a lid on your pot so that it comes up to a boil faster. And when it gets up to a boil, then we'll go ahead and salt it. Now, let's talk dicing and chopping. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to practice our chopping. Now, with celery, what I've always done, remember, nails, I know I'm going to catch hell from lots of purists out there who think that I should cut my nails. But you know what? People with long nails, they cook too. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to slice the celery down the rib right here. Okay, just like that. Take your celery and run it right down the rib. Now, you'll take this piece of celery. Go ahead and make sure that your knife is nice and solid on your block. See how I get that nice little roll with my knife? Yet it's always in contact. We're not doing this. We're doing this. Okay? So we take it like this. Make sure your fingers and or fingernails are out of the way. We go ahead and we start slicing. Now, go ahead and see how I'm moving that knife back and forth right here. We're going like this, back and forth. Now, when you're able to do that, go ahead and speed up. Now, you can see that's giving us a nice chop. Okay, this is nothing that is too small, and yet it's not quite, this is sort of the biggest of our chopping skills here. You can see how I'm moving that knife back and forth, sort of in a fluid motion like this. There's one celery stalk. Now let's go ahead and get the other one done. Now that our celery's done, let's go ahead and get our carrots started. Don't want that in there. So, move our celery over here. Try not to throw it all over the kitchen. Now, I've gone ahead and I've peeled the carrot already. These are just sort of average, buy-in-the-bag carrots. Nothing special here. Now what we're going to do is, this end here, you can see that I've left the nub end on. And the reason for that is for the way we're going to chop it. Okay. Now, you can see right here that I'm putting the point of my knife about 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch away from the end of that carrot. I'm going to support the carrot right here. If you want to, you can cut the little edge off and make it flat. Go ahead and point the knife through the carrot like this. Hold it straight and go straight down the carrot like that. Okay? Roll the carrot half a turn and do the same thing. Now, if you look here, this is what we've got. We've got these little sort of chops through this carrot, but it's still in one piece, which means it's going to make it easier to dice. Well, let me rephrase that, chop. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that we did with the celery. We're going to go ahead and run our knife straight through the carrot. Now, you can see that because I didn't cut the end off, I don't have to worry about getting too close. And we're left with a nice, again, a nice chop. And we don't have to try to fight with all the edges of the carrot too. So, get that over there, and we'll do the rest of our carrots. Alright, now you can see that we've got our celery and our carrots here done. Now, this is 2 parts of the 3-part process to do our mirepoix. Now, we are going to take our onions and we are going to blanch them. Now, the cool things about these little onions is not only are they cute, but they add a nice textural difference to our soup. Normally we would go ahead and dice or chop up a yellow or white onion, whatever your preference is. But I saw these today and they look just so adorable, I decided that we were going to use those. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and salt our water. Most people have sugar bowls. I have a salt bowl. Now, we want our water here to taste like sea water. It needs to be nice and salty so it starts to flavor up those onions. So now we've got our water here boiling, and we're going to take just, and see, and I haven't peeled them, I haven't done anything to them except for cleared off a little bit of the paper on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and drop those in, pop the lid on them, and we're going to give it about 1, maybe 1.5 minutes of that blanch. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to go ahead and it's going to loosen up that first outer skin. It's going to go ahead and start cooking the onion just a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop the ends off of them, and they should pop right out of that first layer of the onion that you really don't want to have to be eaten. Alright, now our onions are blanched. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drop these in an ice bath. Go ahead and drain them off first. And you should just smell that. It just smells like just pure onion. It's so wonderful. And the color of the water is just brilliantly orange. Or yellow, excuse me. So now we're going to go ahead and drop them in this ice bath. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to shock them. And it's going to stop all of that cooking process. And get them where their skins will pop. Now, we've gone ahead and blanched these. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get them out of the ice water. And get them back into our little pot here. And get ready to pop their skins off. And see, some of them have already started to lose their skins, and it's just so easy just to take that knife, let me get that out right here, take that little end, and look, boom, done and done. Look how cute that is. Go ahead and get these over here and ready for our mirepoix. Alright, Now, look how cute those little onions are. They are so adorable. Now, we will go ahead, get our cutting board cleaned up here. Give our hands a little wash because your hands will be sticky after all this. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on to the preparation of our soup. Now, we're going to need another pot. Now, you're going to need a pretty good sized pot because you're going to want this to simmer for a while. So get one with a nice heavy bottom on it. Now, we're going to get our pot hot. We're going to go ahead and get the stock. Now, we made homemade chicken stock, and I'm going to show you how. Here it is. Now what I want to do is get all this in my stock pot. Okay, I have my mirepoix here, which is diced onion, diced carrot, and diced celery, along with a couple of bay leaves. Those are our aromatics. Now we have our carnage, as it were, here, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to brown that up just for a minute. What the browning does is, like Ambrelle says, brown food tastes good. So we're going to go ahead and brown this just a little bit. Okay, what you want to do is get a nice heavy bottomed stock pot. Get your heat going up on it, and then there's plenty of grease in this fat here for the bird. But what I want to do is I want to give it a little start, a little go ahead. So we're going to put a few drizzles of extra virgin olive oil in there. Now we're going to go ahead and wait for this to get hot. Alright, now what we've done is we've allowed this to get pretty hot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat down just a little because we don't really want it, we're not worried about it cooking. We're going to cook this for hours and hours to get all the flavor out of this. But what we want is to brown up just a little bit. So that's a nice sizzle. Make sure it's touching the bottom pretty good. And then just let it sit just for a minute. Because what you're doing is you're caramelizing. And you want that caramelizing to go ahead, and you can't do that if you're moving it around too much. Now what you're going to do, this is just plain kosher salt. I'm going to go ahead and give that a nice salt. And what that's going to do is going to help pull some of the moisture out of that meat. Now that's probably good enough. I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice little stir and a little flip over. And then again, let it sit for just a few minutes. Now we've got our chicken nice and browned up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and deglaze the pot. Now, most people think that you only can deglaze with wine, which is not true. You can deglaze with any liquid. And what we're going to do is, because I want the flavor to be nice and clean, so that I can put it in other recipes, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and move this chicken around, because you've got all these tasty little bits. Now, we're going to fill this almost to the top with water in the stock pot. We're going to add our onion, our carrot, our celery, and our bay leaf. And this is a pretty standard compilation for a stock. And they're all equal parts. I would say about 1.5 cups of each, maybe, with 2 bay leaves. I haven't added pepper to this, and if you're wondering why, it's because I want this to be, like I said, a very clean chicken taste. I don't want the pepper in there because I want to be able to add this to a variety of different recipes. And I would like to add pepper or not add pepper to whatever recipe I'm cooking with the stock. So now, you guys know how to make your own chicken stock.